Hey guys, Jackdaw here, back at it again with a news update for the next Mass Effect game. Given the whole Kotaku commotion with Dragon Age 4, Morrison vs Joplin, potential live service multiplayer, and the working conditions within BioWare, yes, all that juicy stuff, one little news piece was actually overlooked because of it, and that's why I'm getting to it now, almost a week later. And this is the future Mass Effect title, which has now since shifted its development cogs, and is reportedly currently being worked on. As the report states, this much has been revealed in a recent report shared by Kotaku, with Jason Schreier having written that after Mass Effect was put on ice in 2017 following BioWare's release of what many considered to be a disappointing entry with Mass Effect Andromeda, the next game in the franchise has since been warmed up, to quote. However, it's currently unclear at this point in time as to how far along in development the supposed new game in the science fiction series actually is. Now, we've known for quite some time now that Casey Hudson is very eager to jump back into the Mass Effect franchise. Of course, Casey Hudson directed the original trilogy and then left during Andromeda's development to then come back just before Anthem's release. Mass Effect is his baby, it's his vision, of course he's super eager to get back into that, and countless times he has told us that BioWare is definitely not done with Mass Effect. Just to quote a few, last N7 Day, Casey made a statement on the franchise exclaiming that plans are in process for the series, and he's constantly dreaming of that potential future for the next Mass Effect game, constantly coming up with ideas and envisioning what the next Mass Effect game could be. All very exciting, juicy stuff that Casey is thinking about for the next game. He's clearly at that pre-production stage where you get to be really excited about a game and you get to really envision what it could potentially be and what's going to be unique about the game and its gameplay and its story and just the exciting part of development, really. Definitely a fun part of game development. And on top of that, Casey was interviewed within comicbook.com, as I talked about in my last news update for Mass Effect, and he was talking about the future of Mass Effect, and as he quotes, "I wish I could talk about Mass Effect stuff," he said. One day we are going to be back to Mass Effect, and who knows what that game could be about," he added with a wink. It could be about anything. It could be fiction from Andromeda, fiction from the trilogy, it could be something new, you never know, but don't worry, you'll find out soon enough, end quote. Again, he's teasing to a reveal soon. Could he show something at EA Play along with Dragon Age 4? Maybe a development diary, maybe an update, maybe just, hey, we're working on Mass Effect, this is the ongoing thing, this is the ongoing concept, this is the idea, who knows, but hey, he's saying that we're gonna find out soon enough, which is really exciting to hear. And even further, the website comicbook.com made note of a certain comment that they have by their own unknown source. Of course, they can't reveal their sources, that's their journalistic code. And they said, "Oh no, Mass Effect is definitely still happening. My source told me. That franchise is much too valuable to EA for them not to do anything with it," end quote. Now that's plenty of hope and excitement right there for the future of Mass Effect, and Casey Hudson has made it very clear that the series is not dead. Andromeda nor Anthem have killed this epic sci-fi RPG just yet. However, just because EA find it too valuable not to do anything with it doesn't exactly fill me with hope and excitement, because of course EA will do anything with any IP. You look at Command & Conquer, that hit franchise that was an RTS and then they made it into a mobile title. So just because EA aren't going to kill it off just yet is not exactly a welcoming sign. They could easily turn Mass Effect into just a multiplayer exclusive only game, or make it into some jaded mobile game or whatever. So just because EA haven't killed it yet isn't exactly a thing to get excited about. Now the fact that Casey Hudson is excited for that potential of a Mass Effect game is filling me with bits of hope, because he knows what makes Mass Effect, he knows what a Mass Effect is, and he knows how to make it iconic. He knows that it's a single player sci-fi RPG, and only that. So that is something to be excited about. So yeah, there is plenty of hope for the future of Mass Effect. But again, that doesn't mean EA aren't just gonna fill it with live service and multiplayer ways. I think concerning the next Mass Effect and the hype surrounding the sheer potential of it, what it could be, how we envision it ourselves, just the sheer potential of what a new Mass Effect spin-off could be, if it's a sequel, if it's an Andromeda tie-in, if it's a completely new reboot. The potential of that is super exciting just to think about those ideas, and of course I did that in my What's Next for Mass Effect, where I talk about what I would love, which would be a complete spin-off in the Milky Way galaxy playing as one of the many races. And yes, I could talk about that for ages, but I already have done in this video, so go check that out. But I think that first we need to actually see how BioWare and EA handle the next Dragon Age game first, because as we know, due to recent news thanks to Jason Schreier, the next Dragon Age is going to be heavily influenced by multiplayer and live service. And so if Dragon Dragon Age is going to get that treatment, so is the future Mass Effect title. And there's a fair bit of fear regarding the elements of multiplayer versus single player in the next Dragon Age entry, and I'm even on that train, because judging by Jason Schreier's quotes, and even though it's at very early stages of development, the next Dragon Age game is hyping up to be something of a multiplayer heavy focused game. And even if it's not heavy focused, there's still going to be live service attachments to it, and it's still going to incorporate a multiplayer somehow. So until we see how these features play out in Dragon Age 4, we can't presume to know what's going to happen next for Mass Effect. So even though I'm excited for the future of Mass Effect, of course, as many of you know, Mass Effect is my favourite franchise throughout books, film, TV, and to hear that it's being warmed back up is certainly exciting. However, I'm still waiting for Dragon Age 4 and whatever that's going to treat us with regarding multiplayer and live service, and the future of BioWare and what EA are doing to BioWare from here on out. So until I get super hyped and excited and rampaged with just sheer potential, we're going to have to see how Dragon Age 4 does first, and how much of a single player original title that is to the franchise. So yeah, colour me intrigued. If you're interested in what I would love for a Mass Effect game, do check out my What's Next for Mass Effect video. I do a massive dive into the future of Mass Effect titles and what the future could mean, and what I think we could get regarding a story and sequel. But do tell me down below what you're thinking regarding the next Mass Effect game. Are you excited, or should the series remain iced since Andromeda and its mistakes? What are you feeling about Mass Effect and the future of Dragon Age? Of course, we know that both Dragon Age and Mass Effect are not going to be turned into anthems, judging by Jason Schreier's quotes. EA are not going to completely make these franchises multiplayer just yet. For now though, as you can probably tell by the tone, I'm being very realistic about this. I want to make a good approach on this title, I really do, and I want to see what Dragon Age brings us first. And I'm trying to be as eager as possible, because I just hope that we get mainly single player experiences, but some multiplayer, some live service is going to have to be in there. And if it's in Dragon Age 4, hell, it's going to be in the next Mass Effect game, you know? So yeah, do tell me down below all of your thoughts on what you're thinking about the next Mass Effect title. What do you think about Dragon Age 4 being multiplayer? Hopefully there will be a just single player in there first. But hey, for all your things BioWare, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, all that juicy stuff, you're already in the right place for all that jazz. Until the next one, I've been Jackdaw, and I should go.